The idea was a global meme, a viral challenge born from a decade of increasingly fragmented human connection. It was called the Chorus Project. The premise: at 12 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on July 7th, every single human being on the planet, all 8 billion of us, would stop, take a breath, and shout. Not a scream of pain, but a unified, deliberate vocalization. The internet, weary of perpetual disagreement, had found a single, unifying purpose: to measure the sound, to feel the collective presence, and perhaps, to prove a silly old myth wrong, the one that claimed a simultaneous shout couldn't move the earth. The scientific consensus, of course, was clear: the sound waves would simply cancel out, dissipating harmlessly. The effect would be negligible. Dr. Lena Hansen, a quantum acoustician, was positioned in a deep, subterranean monitoring bunker in the Nevada desert, ready to log the historic non-event. The moment arrived, 12 p.m. The world went silent for a beat of anticipation, and then, the shout. It wasn't the deafening sound the public expected. Lena's monitors registered a sound pressure level, SPL, nowhere near the theoretical peak. The sound was bizarrely muted, almost dampened, but the seismographs, those designed to measure the movement of tectonic plates, went wild. The Earth didn't move as a whole, but something far stranger happened. Lena watched in disbelief as the global sensor network registered a massive, instantaneous, and uniform vibration localized entirely within the planet's magnetosphere. It was a massive wave of energy, perfectly synchronized and radiating outwards from the Earth, lasting exactly 1.7 seconds, the duration of the average human shout. Panic set in among the few remaining international science teams. The magnetosphere was our planetary shield against solar radiation. This wasn't negligible. It was catastrophic. The shout had acted not as a physical push, but as an electromagnetic pulse, overloading our natural protection. Satellite communication flickered. Cities experienced sudden, widespread blackouts, and the immediate fear was a surge of solar radiation reaching the surface. Lena and her team raced to stabilize their shielded power core, knowing that they had accidentally created a global vulnerability. Over the next few weeks, the solar radiation subsided, but the side effects of the magnetosphere perturbation became evident. Strange, localized phenomena began occurring globally: animals migrating backwards, clocks ticking backward for fleeting moments, and worst of all, an alarming increase in global amnesia. Not full memory loss, but a highly specific, selective erasure. People were forgetting the Chorus Project. They were forgetting the date the shout occurred, the reason they did it, and the very concept of a unified global event. The collective memory was systematically being deleted. Lena realized the shout hadn't just perturbed the magnetosphere, it had induced a highly complex, collective acoustic resonance that had achieved something truly impossible. She ran the data through her quantum models, realizing the shout's perfect synchronization hadn't cancelled the sound out. It had created a zero-point wave, a torsion field that acted outside of conventional physics. It had achieved collective intent. The twist came when Lena finally deciphered the pattern of the amnesia. It wasn't random, it was highly targeted. People weren't just forgetting the Chorus Project, they were forgetting any concept of global, unified action, strikes, treaties, international agreements. The sense of a unified humanity. All these memories were slowly fading. The Earth was not just physically protected by its magnetosphere, it was shielded by a subtle, unknown psychic field that repressed global, synchronized thought. Lena's final, horrifying realization was based on a pattern of high-frequency silence detected before the shout. That silence wasn't the sound of humanity taking a breath, it was the sound of an ancient, subtle, planetary mechanism going dormant. The Earth itself was a colossal, living organism, and its collective unconscious had been intentionally maintaining a state of controlled fragmentation to prevent exactly this event. The magnetosphere perturbation was not the cause of the amnesia, it was the removal of the planetary psychic barrier. The unexpected final turn? The shout didn't move the Earth, it simply woke something up. The intentional, unified noise had broken the ancient psychological control mechanism, not only allowing the erasure of global unity, but also activating a global response system that was not terrestrial. In the last piece of footage salvaged from the magnetosphere cameras before they failed, Lena saw not a wave of solar wind, but a massive, deep space signal, a highly complex, structured radio burst. The frequency of the shout, when combined with the Earth's natural resonant frequency, had created the perfect beacon. The Earth's fragmentation wasn't a defense against itself, It was a defense against something external. By finally achieving perfect global unity, humanity had succeeded in its viral challenge. It hadn't moved the Earth, but it had finally yelled loud enough to be heard by entities that had been patiently listening across the gulf of space. The amnesia wasn't a symptom. It was the final, desperate act of the Earth's core defense to keep the signal from being amplified further. But it was too late. The global shout had sent the coordinates, and something was already answering.